Hi everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read, and today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog of Beartown by Fredrick Backman. This is my first Fredrick Backman book and we're starting with quite a heavy one, being Beartown. I thought that it would be fun to do a vlog on this book because I think I'm going to have a lot of feelings about it, which will probably be very interesting to you guys. There will be spoilers, so I'm sorry if you guys have to dip out now. If you don't want any spoilers, I'll catch you in my next video. If not, continue on this journey with me. Beartown is a story about a girl who is raped by the star hockey player, and this hockey player was being dependent on to revive the town. So there is a lot of heavy feelings between everybody as to ones that think it should be swept under the rug or don't believe her because they want the town to go up, and then the ones who obviously quite rightly want to stand with the victim. I think this is going to be a very interesting and probably heartbreaking story looking into society, into a problem that is still faced by countless women. At the moment I am up to page 44. I'm not very far of the way through. It is starting in a way that is surprising to me, but not unexpected. It makes sense to the story. It's just not very gripping at the moment because it is introducing a lot of characters and how they're all connected to this hockey-centric town. It makes sense that they're setting the scene and showing you just how obsessed this town is with hockey so that it is believable in a fiction sense, but it's not the most gripping reading. We're just doing a lot of hockey setup, and although I really am enjoying the atmosphere of the snow and the forest, I'm not finding it very entertaining. So I'm reading it very slowly at the moment. I'm also reading other books too, and I'm just plodding along a couple pages a day, and hopefully it'll pick up soon. Hey guys, I'm here with all my washing. Usual day. It's occurred to me that maybe I should make this a double vlog with another book that's quite topical, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I have someone here. I just want to finish this clip and he keeps interrupting. Well, he's not interrupting, he was having a feed and he kept hopping off. If he's feeding and not moving, then it's easy to film, but if he kept hopping off, and I think he's done because I burped him a few times and nothing's come out, I think he's happy. Oh yes, you're talking. So I'm about 45% of the way through with The Handmaid's Tale, and I had to have a break. I've only recently started reading it again. I am reading it on my Kindle. If you haven't seen my book haul, which I think will go up before this vlog, but maybe not, then I have a Kindle. I bought a second-hand 6th generation Paperwhite just to try it out, and also because there's nothing wrong with buying second-hand things. I love doing it. It's cheaper. It's better for the environment. The reading experience is so much better on this than the iPad. I do agree with all those people that commented on my e-reader video that said that a Kindle or a dedicated e-reader will be so much better. So much better on the eyes and easier to hold, but I do believe I will be talking about that in a bit more detail in another video, so I'll leave it there. I've just come back to The Handmaid's Tale. It was a bit difficult, flip-flop back and forth between so many different books. If I was just doing one of my normal reading vlogs that I used to do, where I would just do like every 2 weeks a reading vlog, it would have been so interesting because I literally probably started, I kid you not, like 10 books. Like it's just ridiculous between like physically and e-reader, and that's kind of frustrating me now, so I am going back to finishing some books and just getting through them. I'm back to The Handmaid's Tale, which I did buy. I wanted to finish it, but I don't know why I want to read it. Like it's a really hard book, and it's one of those ones where I'm just not super enjoying it. I'm mainly reading it to see what happens because I'm very curious to see what happens with the girls. Offred has talked a little bit about the unwomans in the colonies. Wouldn't it be better to be living in the like, I don't know what the colonies are like, but I feel like you're not being sexually assaulted, you're not being raped all the time, you're not being forced to give birth to a baby that is never going to be yours, like, or that you're never going to be able to raise. So I don't know, I'm curious to see more about the world outside of just where we are as a handmaid. And as for Beartown, I'm reading that one physically. You can probably tell that because I was probably holding it up in my first clip. I'm sort of forcing is a bit of a strong word, but I'm kind of making myself read it because it's not a lot has still happened. We're very much in the hockey stuff. I think the guy who sexually assaults is going to be Kevin. That's my prediction. And I think it's either going to be Maya that he does it to, or her friend who I can't remember the name. But at the moment, he's just kind of locked eyes with her, and you're getting the sense that they have a bit of an attraction, so I'm thinking that things are going to start soon, but it's still very much setting the scene, but I'm also not very far through it at all still, because I haven't really been reading it, because it's not been super interesting. So I need to read it a bit more. I feel like it's a book that if you read it like quickly, or it's sort of hard for me to be reading it at the moment because my reading sessions can be few and far between, especially if I'm not enjoying the book. So I think I really need to just focus on it and get me past like that 100 pages. And it's not to say that Fredrick Backman has a really slow writing style. It's fine. It's just that because it hasn't been like super engaging from the get-go and I don't have a lot of time anymore, hence this little one, that I haven't really been reading it a lot. So we'll see. I'm going to keep pushing through. But anyways, I'm going to go. Bye. I'm reading Beartown at the moment by Fredrick Backman. You guys know that. You guys know that. All I need to say is that I'm reading Beartown. I'm up to page 75, and I just want to read out something to you because I wasn't going to annotate this book, but since I've decided to actually focus on this and stop reading the one that I was annotating, I've decided, and because I found some things that are speaking to me at the moment as a first-time parent, so I've decided to annotate it, and I just want to read out this paragraph to you guys. Her work may be demanding and tough, but it's straightforward and logical, and being a parent is never like that. If she does everything right at work, things usually go as planned, but it doesn't matter if she does absolutely everything in the universe correctly as a mother. The very worst can still happen. I think I just really need to remember that because, like a lot of parents, I am fixating on sleep, trying not to fixate on sleep, but I can feel myself doing it, particularly with the overnight sleep. And Miles sleeps really well in his bassinet. He really does, compared to what some other babies don't want to, compared to the fact that other babies feel safest on their mums. I'm pretty lucky that Miles feels safe in his bassinet. But I still, tracking his sleep, when he does like a 5-hour stint, I think, how can I replicate that? How can I do that again? And I've made the decision today to experiment with my own mental health of not tracking his overnight sleep, and just when he cries, wake up, feed him, put him back to bed, not even recording how long he's feeding for. If I don't feel like it's long enough, then I'll try and wake him up and get him to feed for longer. But I'm just trying to find a way to not obsess over sleep, because I'm a kind of person where if I used to weigh myself and I would obsess over the weight, even though I know that muscle weighs more than fat, blah, 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 I would still obsess, so I stopped weighing myself, and I have never felt better about my body image. So I'm going to try not to track his sleep so that I don't upset myself by or obsess over trying to work out how to get him to sleep longer when there's no telling. I can set everything up exactly the same if I could remember about that for the night before, that like before he had that long stretch of sleep. I could do it all again the next day, and it doesn't mean that he's going to sleep for that long. So I'm maybe this will be a very good book for this time in my life. Hey guys, it's Friday. I am about 75% of the way through the Handmaid's Tale. Miles had a big drinking session yesterday afternoon. Well, he's actually yesterday evening, his big one before his first night's sleep. It was like an hour and 14 minutes, which is so much longer than he normally drinks. He must have been thirsty, or maybe he needs the energy to grow or something like that. So I read pretty much the entire time. I am interested to see how the world goes. I'm really, really hoping that things resolve and that they somehow work out how to get out of the shit fuckery that they're in at the moment, because it's just absolutely horrible, 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 horrible thinking about that. And I know a lot of people are very concerned, especially in the US, about how things are looking like they're going to slip towards that way, with getting rid of abortion rights in a lot of states, which is just horrible to think about that happening. But in terms of the story, we're at the part where the commander is taking Offred out for the first time, that she's gone to the men's club where all the women are in whatever skimpy outfits they can find for themselves. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I don't know whether her alliance with Ovglen is gonna produce anything, because we know that there's some sort of organization out there. We just don't know much at this point, because it's more dangerous for the organization and for all of the women if the women have lots of knowledge. We'll see how that pans out. I'm hoping something good. I'm still really interested to learn what the colonies are, because wouldn't it be better being out there? I don't know. So we'll see. Hey guys, sorry about the aircon, but you know, winter in Australia. I'm here with Coops. Just been reading some more today while Mouse has been feeding, but he's asleep now and I am on the last leg, so using my Kindle. I got a secondhand one and unfortunately it is such an, I don't want to call it an older one, but it's like an earlier model. That's a better way of saying it. It's an earlier model, so they've stopped updating it. And even though it's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with it, the update that allows you to set your current book as the cover screen here instead of these newspapers or whatever else flashes up isn't supported. So I'm a bit devo about that. I probably should have done some research into that anyways. But maybe if I'm still enjoying the Kindle life come Christmas this year, I might ask for a brand new one off Daniel, or like a newer one that we're willing to spend a bit more money on. This is just a trial run to see how I go. I feel like I'm going to read non-fiction on this, because investing in non-fiction books, I've tried, and it is a bit hit or miss at the moment as to whether I'm going to enjoy them, whereas I can use the sample pages on this. So I feel like this is going to be consistent in my reading life. I just don't know how much and how much money I want to spend. But back to The Handmaid's Tale. I'm on the home stretch now. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I'm going to rate it. And I'm just sitting down to do this reading session now with Cuckoo Bear here, and I will check in with you guys when I'm done. Just finished. I'm really curious to read the Testaments now to see whether hopefully it continues Offred's story, but we never know. I just want to read out apart from one of the sort of last paragraphs of it. It's in the historical notes when like years and years into the future, there's a historian who's talking about having found Offred's tapes, and it says, "As all historians know, the past is a great darkness and filled with echoes. Voices may reach us from it, but what they say to us is imbued with the obscurity of the matrix out of which they come, and try as we may, we cannot always decipher them precisely in the clearer light of our own day." I thought that was really cool, even though obviously, thankfully, this is not an actual historical text. It still is very interesting, and I'm very glad that, oh, I was really confused. So that black thing there in the corner is our display cabinet / TV unit, and I thought that it was our fire, and I'm like, how does that happen? Because our fire's actually over there. Anyways, that's just me going nuts. I don't know what to rate this. I really liked the historical notes, the section at the end of the book where they're discussing Gilead and discussing Offred's tapes. I find that was really good. I enjoyed it, and helps kind of settle the I want to know what happened. Probably also knowing that there is a second book, which was only published recently, maybe. I don't know what to think about this book. It is very topical, very, very topical in many parts of the world, because we seem to have rights receding when we thought that we'd made some progress. I kind of feel like I've just read a piece of non-fiction, and I guess it's a classic. Is it a literary fiction? Is it a dystopian? I'm not really sure because it's not dystopian YA like The Hunger Games, because they are obviously about stuff as well. But the tone is a lot more, we're going to fix this world. This book is more of a conversation and a day in the life of someone living it, kind of, I guess, akin to what I imagine the Diary of Anne Frank is like, which would be good to read one day. I did like it in the end, and I'm really looking forward to reading the Testaments, and I hope that Offred gets a good ending. And I'm probably also going to watch the TV show, because sometimes there's little extras in there too. I just want to take a moment to think about all of those books whose stories get cut short when a reader picks up their phone. I picked up Beartown for the first time in what feels like forever. I've also changed the tabby tabs on them, and I like them. They're pretty. I picked it up to fix up these tabs and change it from the ones that I was the ones that I was using. And I then started reading the page that I was up to and kept reading, and it was so nice. But then I wanted to go up and get a drink bottle of water, and I said to yourself, Joanna, don't pick up your phone when you come back, read the book. And I picked up my phone. I need to keep pushing through because it's good when I read it. It just doesn't have the unputdownable quality yet that I think that it will have once the rape happens. But I need to get there at the moment because we're still setting up the scene. And Fredrick Backman still has amazing paragraphs and sentences that I'm like, oh my god, these are so good. Like, his commentary on society and parenthood and coming of age is just amazing in this book. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's unputdownable yet. So we'll go from there. Also, guys, check out the pile of books that Miles has got. Don't mind the mess. Mum life, right? Or kid life. But he's got given all of these books from my auntie. I've got to clean them up because they're a bit sticky, and some of them are quite a bit older for his age range. But it's so cool that he's going to have a really good start to literacy, and even if he doesn't enjoy reading for fun, I really hope he does, but if he doesn't, that's cool. He'll learn to read and then he can have his own hobbies, but at least I'll be giving him the best start because the world is so much about reading. As everybody knows, that is the gateway to knowledge and to learning, and I'm so excited to be able to see it like this. He got given lots of books for when he was born, and then my auntie gave me this whole box of secondhand books, and I'm so excited. Hey guys, quick update as I have read crazy point in the book that I want to talk about. So I am that of the way through and I have read The Rape now. And it wasn't overly graphic at all, but you definitely knew what was going on and were definitely feeling the characters' emotions. I really liked how Fredrick Backman wrote it and the build up too, because it's a third person book. We're in certain people's heads, nothing super close, like we don't read their lines of thoughts, but in the build up he talked about how apparently the main character's name is actually pronounced Maya, not Maya. It's M-A-Y-A, so Daniel informs me that it's actually Maya, but in the build up she was talking about how in the future they will ask her how drunk she was, ask her about the marijuana that she took, that she went up to the bedroom, how loudly she protested, and all those kinds of horrible things that people do to victim blame now. And my heart was just, it was really hard to read. No tears yet, but it was really difficult to read. And I finished the reading session the other night on pretty much straight after the rape had happened, and I was like, I need to go to bed, but how do I go to bed after this? And then Daniel got a text message that his sister had had her baby. So that was nice to kind of end it then and have something nicer to put into my head. So far though, proper first thoughts. I mean, I know I'm halfway through the book, but I feel like I'm only just getting to know certain characters now because there's so many that we get to know and all their segments are really short. But my favourite two characters at the moment are Benji and Amat. So I'm really interested to see how they go and how they develop as people, and I'm really hoping that Benji is still as good as I'm thinking he is and that he doesn't end up siding with Kevin, but I think that he's a fabulous character and I'm so interested in him. He's probably my absolute favourite, closely followed by Amat, so we'll see how it goes, and I'm still reading really slowly, but I'm getting there. Look at all my pretty tabs too. There's like literally something to say all the time. The tab colors are going to change though because I'm running out of the pink and the purple, so it's just going to be red, blue, green and yellow. Hey guys, I am in a totally new spot. We're on a weekend away, the first actual sort of holiday weekend away with Miles. We did go to Canberra recently, but we stayed with relatives, so this is the first one where we're actually in like a cabin. It's two of our friends' birthdays around about the same time, so we've all gone about an hour away from home to stay, and it's been super fun. My hand is really sore. This is the best spot that I could get good lighting in though, so we're gonna stay like this. Daniel is still at their other cabin. It's about 10 o'clock and I wanted to go home and get into bed. I think I'm gonna have a bit more of a read before I sleep. Miles is in the porta cot. I successfully transferred him out of his bassinet pram when he was asleep and put him into the travel cot, so woohoo, that doesn't always happen. I wanted to talk obviously about Beartown. I'm a bit sleepy. I'm not loving it. I knew that it was going to be a hard topic, but I thought that I would be very engaged with it. But I taken half the book to get up to the rape, and I was here for the conversations, but there's been so much build up that honestly at this point I'm struggling to think about continuing it. I just want to read something fun. I was looking at what to read as an ebook, and I just want something fun as well, and nothing on ebook is super fun, so reading at the moment is not great for me at this present time, to repeat myself. And even though Backman is a really talented writer, it's more like he drops one-liners and they're really good, like an entire paragraph or just one line at the end of a scene, and it's just like holy shit, but it doesn't mean that the rest of the words are super great. So I'm just really struggling with it because it's not entertaining and it's also a hard topic, so I'm gonna keep going, but there's a good chance where if it doesn't pick up in this brief reading session tonight before I go to sleep, I'm probably gonna DNF it. I just want something fun. I want something fantasy, and I really wanted to enjoy this book for the critical conversation, but it's just not happening. So I will update you guys shortly depending on how that goes, and we shall see. Hey everybody, I'm here to round out the vlog. Sorry, aircon usual, but he's a cute puppy to make up for it, and baby is here. But I'm trying to encourage him to have a nap. Which, I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. So I finished Beartown last night, and I don't know. Well, I do know. You would think based on all the tabs that I loved it, but it was just okay. And I'm very disappointed that I didn't love it because I wanted to love it and I thought I would. Fredrick Backman is a very talented author because he will pull these one-liners or paragraphs and it just makes you go, oh golly gosh. But it doesn't mean that I loved the story and felt like I was very impacted by the story, because for me,
I think the story is not about victim blaming and when perpetrators are treated unfairly because of certain aspects which make them appealing to the public, i.e. they're good at sports or they're attractive or whatever, because that was also a big thing with Ted Bundy, is that he was charming and attractive, so people didn't really believe it, or they gave him more chances than he should have. This book, the conversation is about hockey, and I think it's more about how a town can be obsessed with hockey and or just a sport in general, to the point that they will then favor certain people. Like, it's sort of a question of how their stars can do no wrong, and to what point do we start to see them as what they've actually done as opposed to just stars, and to what point do we stop giving them leeway. Gosh, this is hard to think of. Hello, Bubby. Here, have this. Have this. There you go. He's getting better. He's in dummy now, which is helpful for my sanity. And it's also a conversation about parenthood and raising your children and what a community raises kids as well. And this particular hockey team raised these boys and their attitudes and things like that. It was okay, but because it was more of a focus on hockey, and the rape was kind of used as a plot device almost, as opposed to it being like this big conversation about victim blaming and not believing victims and things like that. There was a little bit of that in there, but not as much as what I was really hoping it was going to have. So I didn't enjoy it as much. I don't know if Fredrick Backman is going to be the author for me, because I just don't know whether his style is necessarily for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with this book now because of how much I've tabbed it up. I do write with pencils, so I could go along and scribble things out. This has been not the vlog that I thought it was going to be, but I've still had a nice-ish time, and I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series or not. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos again. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this book as well. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!